At this point in Migron, we have signed this, I'll hesitate to call it agreement. I mean, we did agree to the conditions of it. We did take it very, very seriously, but it's not something we did willingly or happily. We signed an agreement that says that we will be building houses, and I'd like to stress that we are not receiving houses as gifts. This would be on our own built, buying houses at the bottom of the hill, a significantly lower standard of living down there. And once those houses are built, we would move to the bottom of the hill. As it is stated in the documents, this is on a timeline. If there were to be any glitches in the system and anything would not happen on schedule, we would be homeless at that point. But one would be hoping that wouldn't happen.
Now you're saying that this will be on your expense?
This would be on our expense. There are not homes being built like as a gift because we've lived up in Migron. This would be we would have to fully finance this.
Now remind us of the legal status of Migron. Where are we holding private lands, lands owned by the country?
The status of Migron in Hebrew, it's called Adamot Nifkadim. In English, we would say it's like an abandoned property. At one point, there were names attached to some of the land that is in Migron. It had been owned by the Kingdom of Jordan. In 1960, the King of Jordan split the land that Migron sits on up into 60 pieces, along with the land around Migron. But this specific area was 60 pieces, gave it to 60 families, on the condition that they farm it within 3 years. Otherwise, it goes back to the King of Jordan. By the time 1967 rolled around, none of it had been touched, at least where we were sitting now in Migron, and it had reverted back to being Crown property. Therefore, it would have gone from the Kingdom of Jordan to the government of Israel. But because it had a name attached to it at some point in time, it is not called state land. It's called abandoned property.
So now Peace Now are saying give it back to a specific Arab, or they're just saying it belongs to somebody?
Peace Now has not been able to prove that it belongs to any specific Arab. They have presented people, they've put people on Israeli television saying that they used to farm lentils here or what have you. But this is land that didn't belong to anybody. Peace Now is using this as a stepping stone to get rid of the settlement enterprise and essentially wind up getting rid of the state of Israel.
Now, some would say that this is a success because other communities in Judea and Samaria, this is how they started. They built up on one hilltop, and then the state agreed to another hilltop. So maybe this is okay. This is the natural process of creating a big community of Migron.
I don't think that signing on the removal of a Jewish community can ever be considered a success. This was done with a very heavy heart. It was not a festive atmosphere in any way. It's done very sadly. This wasn't a cake and champagne occasion. And we didn't feel that we had a chance. If someone has a gun to their head and then gives over their purse, that doesn't mean that they're any sort of great big person. It just means that they had no choice in the matter.
Now, you, of course, have to also educate your children. What are you telling them? How do you explain to them what's going on?
Well, we have a special situation in Migron in that we have much older children than the average age here in the yeshuv in the community. My children are ages 3 to 15. So the younger children, we're still dealing with the traumas that they went through on the 5th to 6th of September when there was destruction in the middle of the night. So all they want to hear is that there won't be bad guys in black coming in the middle of the night. So comparatively, that was easy. I have a 15-year-old, and he's 3 years away from the Army, and his motivation to go all the top units that he was once upon a time talking about has certainly dropped drastically. He's having a hard time in school. The kids are, he's with a bunch of teenagers, and they are idealistic as they should be, and saying, why did you sign to give away part of the land of Israel? Why did you sign to do this? And so he's the one at this point that's having a hard time. Last time it was my little ones, now it's my big one.
How do you sum up the feelings in Migron these days?
Look, there's some relief because we've been living under a horrific amount of pressure. You go to bed at night not knowing what you're going to wake up to or when you're going to wake up. But sadness. This isn't what we wanted to happen. We're here fair and square. There was no need for this to happen, but we have to take a little bit of comfort in that Benny Begin is finally standing up for a community that his party helped to establish. That there won't be a civil war. Nobody wants to see anything like that. And so we're trying to take a small bit of comfort in the little bits of positive that we can find.